Hey everybody, this is Peter Palmiotti, and this is Making Comics and Art, episode 274. And today I'm going to teach you how to draw this cat. No. That's not what this is about. But I will be just sketching some cats today. Trying to diversify my channel a little bit and do a couple different things before I get into some real work and more consistent with streaming every day, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Pops Fans Ant, welcome. And let me do this. So, I got some cat reference to my side. And just gonna sketch some kitty cats. If you didn't already know, I did a stream yesterday with Apex Comics. It was a really good stream. Had a lot of people show up. It was a lot of fun to do. You should go check it out. I shared it in my community tab on my YouTube channel. Hopefully you know where that is. Somebody asked me if I would sketch their kitty cat, and I said sure. I've done that a couple of times in the past. If people want to commission me to draw superheroes or their favorite animated character or what have you, I'm all for it. A gig is a gig. And as it happens, I love cats, so it would be my pleasure. They haven't got back to me. They just asked me if I would. So we'll see. We shall see. But yeah, it was funny yesterday. One of my cats, Ripley, is very comfortable jumping onto my back at times, and she did it while we were chatting. And my back is full of holes from her doing just that. But I love her, So I did have some cat news. If you've been following along, or if you haven't, I'll let you know right now. So during this past summer, there was a overabundance of strays coming to my place, and that's because I got into the habit of putting food out, and one cat tells the other, and soon you'll have a dozen cats coming at your door. And I did a little fundraiser on my Facebook. And we got some of them fixed and some of them into new homes. There was a emergency incident where one of the cats is white, I guess mostly white, sort of gray striped cat, really sweet cat. Apparently got attacked by a dog. It seemed like, it was definitely in a tussle with something. And unfortunately, one of his back legs got ripped to shreds. And I didn't have the money at the time, and I called my local rescue and took him to the vet, got his legs fixed, and actually he was brought to a new home shortly thereafter. Somebody saw him online and inquired about him and took him in, and he's not only doing 100 times better. He's got 3 legs now, but he's walking around fine, and he's in a beautiful home. So that was one of the successes, and we got a couple of the cats, the stray cats, fixed and taken into foster homes and all that jazz. So one of the cats that was fixed but not taken in was Meow Meow, which is this like stubby-tailed striped cat, Bengal, and she became a regular around here as for coming around and wanting food and attention. And there was another one, cat I called Pudgy, which was a Siamese cat with a sort of a gray face. It was like actually kind of a circle shape on its face. It was really, really, really sweet cat. Kind of aggressive. Always wanted pets. Always followed me around everywhere, 2 inches in front of my feet. I'd go talk to a neighbor or go get my mail, and the cat was always right there. Anyway, for a while, I was talking with the local rescue, and they're at their max, but they didn't like to say no. So I thought that eventually they would be taking him in or taking them in. Turns out it wasn't the case. So I decided to take them to the local rescue. Shelter. So there is a case where, the local shelter will foster cats or animals like dogs and whatever. And if nobody takes them in, then they might euthanize them. Now, I don't love that. But sort of my situation is that I won't be here for a couple of months coming up. And I wanted to handle the situation now as opposed to later, because I feel like this has been going on for months, that, I'm able to find these cats a home, unable to take them in myself. I already have too many, with the possibility of adding another 1 or 2 that are already at the rescue. Once I return, I'll be going to Florida for a couple of months for family. So Meow Meow and Pudgy need to get into somebody's home. So I decided on the shelter. There's good people working there, and there's lots of love, and they're well taken care of. There's a nice facility just outside of town. Well, technically, it might be considered part of my town. It's just past, main strip. We did that yesterday. There was actually, they had a goat there. Do goats have horns when they're little? Because I don't think I've seen a goat with horns. I might be getting my animals mixed up. but there was a really, really cute, what I think was a goat when I walked in. And so I took, I had my cat carrier and I took them to the back, and they have a room specifically for cats. And it was a bunch of people there, and it's funny, as the girl, one of the handlers there was taking in the cats individually to put them in cages in the room. The people there were going, ooh, really, really sweet. Like, like, oh, what's that cat? No, maybe we'll take that cat. So I don't know, like maybe somebody took one of the cats right away. Fingers crossed. Hey, Landon, I'm just sketching some cats today. What are you up to? So yeah, it's without Meow Meow and without Pudgy. I no longer have to worry about, like, because they were all up in in my place every day for months since before the summer. So hopefully the shelter will find them home soon. Drawing a mummy at my day job. Cool. Very cool. I guess since, it's coming up on October, is that Halloween related? So yeah, they are no longer here, and now, like, my cats constantly go in and out. They're indoor. I got outdoor cats, and I don't have to worry about, Meow Meow and Pudgy being up in the faces of my cats. And Landon says yes. Yeah, Halloween coming out. Draw some Halloween characters. So I'm just happy to facilitate, them possibly getting new homes. And while there is plenty of strays, depending on what time you go outside here and the surrounding neighborhood, dusk is definitely when you see the most cats. At least I've come across the most cats, and there's plenty of strays. Unfortunately, are as far as I know, our whole town is riddled with them. But I've been sort of wanting to take a break from fostering and worrying about other people's cats and stray cats and all that jazz. I frankly had, I think I could safely say, I've fostered or taken in at least up to 50 cats in the past 10 years, and I need a break. I have my cats, and I got life things and my career and other things to focus my attention on. But hey, if you want me to draw your cat, then by all means, I will do so. But yeah, I'll be getting back into inking comic pages here and working on, my own drawings and inking my own drawings. I got the Aquaman piece I want to finish up. I got the X-Men to dive into next. I got that Gaz Gretzky retro piece I want to finish inking. I got the last page of retro I want to finish inking. I believe I mentioned this before, but I recently talked to my friend Scotty Watson. If anybody was a part of my retro Kickstarter, I promised a pinup that me and Scotty were going to do together. He's got a full-time job now. He's got 4 kids. He's got a wife. I believe they have a dog. They had a dog last time I was there. And he's working six days a week, 12-hour days, which is insane. But they've always had their car breaking down and things always to buy and whatnot. So definitely having that job is definitely helped him and his family not only get back on their feet financially speaking, but also put them ahead of the game. But he's trying to slowly work back into, even with that insane schedule and hours, he wants to get back into doing his art. And I never really pushed him to get the pinup done right away because I still yet to do plenty of work on the book myself. But I did bring it up, and I was like, do you still want to do that pinup? Will you have time to do it? And he said, yes. And so he is going to do just that coming up, and I'll show that off here, of course. He has a cute cat to draw. Much better than my little cat drawing there. So let's see. I'll get some cats with expressions, but this one looks kind of like the one I already drew, but it's colored differently. Yeah, I once did a cat commission for somebody, and I just sort of just did it. I loosely penciled it, and I went into the inking stage without giving it too much thought. And while the person loved it, it was really funny to look at because the cats sort of came out looking a little human-ish. And the person who hired me for that thought it was hilarious, and I'm super glad she liked it. I mean, that's you always want to please the client. So one of the things that I mentioned during the our chat, me and Apex Comics with an X, was that even though the artwork for retro is done, I thought about it recently. It's like I would like my character, which essentially retro in his real life, he's a couple. He's got a girlfriend, and I was thinking I want them to have a cat. They have their own apartment, and I would love for them to have a cat. So I thought what I would do is go back onto one of the pages where they're hang out in the apartment and draw a cat in the background and really introduce it, in a future issue. Yeah, you see a lot of drawings of cats, and in illustrations, sometimes things are simplified, but a lot of drawings of cats I see, like the cats have exactly three whiskers on each side, 3 or 4, and a lot of cats have a lot more. So what I'm looking at is it's a photo of a Siamese cat, and it's got mostly dark face, mostly black. It looks like a little bit of a mask. It's definitely got like a dark nose. And of course, like I'm doing this in pencil, but I would approach it way differently if I was inking it. Well, not way differently, but slightly differently. It would be more about line work than smudging in some darker areas. But it's got like, this is mostly a dark area. I'll just do this kind of quick. And it's got like slightly lighter around the eyes. And a lot of Siamese cats, definitely my cat has this like really blue eyes. Really pretty. My cat, when it was younger, I didn't know it when it was too young, but it was, maybe 8 months old, a year old. I'm not even sure. But she had a blueness to the fur on her face. It didn't stick around. It's like you can sort of catch glimpses of it now and then. But her coat has changed throughout the years. They do that seasonal, and just like their fur flies off, and just the fur underneath looks slightly darker or lighter depending on the season. But yeah, it was really cool. I have a blue cat. That's my cat, Cleopatra. But yeah, if I was doing this in ink, I would do it like a bunch of subtle cross hatching. This kind of looks a little bit like a bear, which, if I was doing this as a finished piece, I would make sure it definitely looked like a cat. When I'm just sort of practicing. Just, I want to draw more and practice things I haven't done that much. One of the things I'm excited about is when I'm a full-fledged penciling comics, I'll be doing retro and a bunch of other things. I'm excited that by the fact that I'll be drawing everything eventually. And like in a lot of ways, comic artists are the most amazing artists because of that fact that eventually they're going to have to draw everything. Some of them skip out of doing, like, if they're not so keen on drawing a lot of cars, they'll just put one or two in the background instead of drawing a whole highway of cars. There's cheats and workarounds. When you're doing a regular comic, deadlines are all deadline. Destiny is all. But yeah, cats, man. The way some of their fur and coloring is freaking fantastic. And of course, once we get into different cat expressions and, even looking at a lot of them when they're yawning, it's so hilarious looking. He's a sweetie. It's a sweetie. Now it's kind of like it's much darker above its nose. So I discovered so Frank Miller starting up a new company. I think it's called Frank Miller Presents. I just found it up on Instagram the other day, and then I went to their website and blah blah blah. Looked around what they have coming up. I'm a big fan of Frank Miller and his work in the past, and was curious what books he's doing over there and what he's got coming out. Now he's doing two books he's known for: Sin City and Ronin, but he's only writing them, which is kind of a big disappointment to me. I would have loved more that he was doing the art, even though like his art is so simplistic as opposed to what it used to be. I still am excited by what he's got that's coming out that's new, what he's working on, and I forget the artist on Ronin, but it looks pretty good. Artistically speaking. There's some samples of the art, the cover, and I think it showed some interior drawings as well, and maybe one or two of those images are something Frank did. I'm not even sure. But the Sin City is very, very curious. So he's doing a new Sin City book. I believe what he's doing over there is like miniseries. So will be another short collection. And let's see. Let me go back here and do. Okay. Let's see what pops up. I did cats, funny expressions. Okay. Wait, what happened? Yeah, this is goofy expression. So the artist on Sin City is Milo Manera, who is, I think he's an Italian artist, a French artist. Manera, he's probably Italian. He's known for drawing sexy women. So, bye everybody. Thanks for hanging out a little bit. Oh wait, it's the my sort of it's telling me how many people are watching. It went to 0, then it went back up. So Milo Manera, fantastic artist. He usually does like more X-rated comics, like adult comics, which fits in perfectly with Sin City. But I thought he was an incredibly good choice. But is it just going to be sexy women and not the rest of sort of the universe of Sin City? Or will there be lots of, guns and cars and everything? We shall see. So yeah, I'm excited to see that and Ronin. Like, I know Ronin wasn't everybody's taste. Because I love that book when it came out, and still to this day, it's one of the few things I have in my collection now. Like, I don't really have a collection that's everything I love. It's just, it's some things I love and a bunch of random stuff. But I'll definitely be keeping my eye open and taking a look at both projects. That was two of, I think, 4 books they have coming out. One is a book written by Dan DiDio. Dan DiDio is formerly the head of DC Comics, is now part of the Frank Miller Presents. At least as a writer on one of the books. And that looks kind of cool. And then the other project, I think, is a kid's book. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the way it looks like to me. So this cat's face is kind of funny. Sort of got the wide-eyed expression. I can go a little closer. Welcome, Dave Travels Through Time Channel 2. I think you're new here. That's a great channel name. I'm just doodling some cats, just in case somebody asks me to, commission me to draw their cat. Another thing I considered recently is, I know it's a thing. It's like people love drawings of themselves, and I've also done that on a few occasions. It's not something I've done a lot or thought of really a lot previously. But I want to do a lot more of my own art, and if I don't get a lot of commissions of people, wanting their favorite comic character or animation character or what have you, favorite Tory character. Awesome cat. Thank you. Appreciate that. I picked out a reference of a funny looking cat, so that's what I'm drawing right now. I myself have 3 funny cats, and maybe I'll draw them one day. But this is the one I'm drawing right now. It's a beautiful cat. It's mostly white with a little brush of gray with some dark gray sort of black lines, and I'll draw those in. You know, some cats have beautiful just patterns on them that, you know, really when the cats make some expressions, it really enhances their expressions. But yeah, I mean, you know, like Dave and maybe some other people watching either now or later, like, you know, if you didn't know, you know, I've been in comics since 91, so 30 plus years, mostly as an inker. You know, comic book inking is a very specific skill, but I freaking love it. And, you know, the world has changed with computers in many ways, and so there's less of a demand today than there was when I started for inkers. And I always knew, like, you know, I always knew that the sort of better money and more career stability is by making your own IPs. So it's taken me a long time to get around to it, but I got my own book retro I'm working on, and a lot of other projects, as well as a bunch I'm doing with other people. But I've worked for Marvel and DC back in the 90s and Valiant Comics, and had some books published by Image Comics. You know, but mostly it's been a career where I was always happy to be working more than anything else. But now I'm trying to steer the bus into doing more things I want to really get known for, and have more consistent. I didn't even realize I'm drawing off screen. Yeah, let me pull back a little bit. Yeah, so I'm not doing that. Okay, let me keep it up here. But yeah, it's great to be always working and cover your overhead and pay the bills. But it's even more of a fulfilling feeling to, you know, really work on the projects you want to be working on, with the people you want to be working with. So it's sort of where I'm steering things now, so I could do more of that. And, you know, since I'm going to be penciling my own book, but also some other projects, I want to be known more as an artist, a full-fledged artist. So I'm sort of doing these pieces where it's less expensive to buy my full art than it is to get me to ink your project, in an attempt that more people will want me to do my own art. So yeah, this cat's got a really cute face, as a lot of them do, especially, you know, kittens. Kittens are freaking adorable, and that's exactly how they get you. So this one, it doesn't have its tongue out, but its tongue is like clearly in its mouth. So it kind of looks like that. And it's got like, some cats got real black lips. And I'm sure that also has to do with like the way their fur is colored and so forth. Some of them got real black lips, or just, parts of it are black and parts of it are plain pink. It really just depends. They come in every color, every design, every shape and form. I will mention, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm always trying to grow my channel. I plan to stream a lot more coming up. I'll get into some serious comic book work and other projects I'm working on. I got way too much stuff going on. But we'll be digging into a lot of that. Give the video a like. It helps my videos get seen more across YouTube and whatnot. And that means my streams will get more views eventually, and my channel will grow because of it. If you like anything I do and just want to throw me some cash to support what I'm doing, you can become a Patreon. As I discussed on my interview the other day, I will be doing a webcomic there called Nice Monster. Nice Monster will be about this kid who has that disease to where they look older than they actually are, and other people in his neighborhood consider him a bit of a monster because of it. He's bigger and uglier than all the other kids, so it's a bit of a freak. And he, somehow gets into a different dimension, and it's more a, monster of the week kind of thing that develops. And it's something I'm doing, co-writing with a friend of mine, Jay. And because I want to give my patrons something solid that they can, enjoy first. Eventually, as I get more pages done and stuff, I may offer it up like as a digital download for individual chapters and eventually single issues. Because I don't plan on, like doing, 20 or more pages a month. It will just be like maybe a page a week or something, just to move the story forward and have something that's another creation of mine that I'm developing on a regular basis. The more of those I can have going on, all the better. Eventually I would love to get, I started a couple web comics and I didn't get really far, but one of them was called Neon Eden, and another one was called Bright Eyes. And I plan to, I think this came out pretty fantastic. He does have a little more lines on his fur, like right there, and so kind of like that. So you can see he's pretty funny looking, and it's a great expression. Let me get like everybody's facing forward. I want to get sort of a side view. Let me see. Maybe something here. Oh no, cat in the toilet. Don't want to draw a cat in the toilet. Oh man. You know, if you ever want a million of something, just do a search for cat pictures. Oh, that's creepy. No. Oh, this is cute. This looks like my cat. My cat, Tazzy. So yeah, you know, I would love to get back to working on Neon Eden as well as Bright Eyes. You know, just have a couple of things where I'm taking my time with, and I'm doing it for specific audiences. You know, like I said, with my patrons, I want to do Nice Monster, but also I have something else called Worlds, which is something I began to create and get into that on my Patreon page as well. And that's more like a sci-fi sort of tank girl adventure kind of thing. You know, I have all these ideas and never enough time. You know, but I really want to start taking things serious. You know, it's not enough to be working 30 years in the industry. It's about time I take things seriously. You know, my ex-girlfriend always said that, you know, the mentality of a 15-year-old, and that works in my favor on some things, not so much in others. Oh, and once again, I should work on screen. Okay. Let's see. I should. But yeah, you know, like my original intention for this year was to get a bunch of books done, and I still want to do that, but my schedule is out of my hands. The last 2 months of this year, I'm going to be, you know, I'm in Kentucky. I'm going to be going to Florida for family, and I won't be on my own schedule. So while I'm there, I thought it best what I'll be doing is I'll be writing a book, because I want things to work on, but not with solid deadlines, and something I can, you know, it's like I don't want to do finished like ink art when I'm there, because, you know, I don't want to have to bring my studio with me. But if I work on drawing, I can, you know, just bring a couple of pencils and scrap paper and I'm fine. But also I'll have my iPad and probably my laptop. I'm going to be working on learning the coloring programs, you know, like Clip Studio Paint and Procreate. Let's see. There's something about Bengal Cats, with their many lines and and the way they're colored and furs. They're all super cute. Now, this one and lots of Bengals, like what they have is a bunch of lines. Sometimes it looks like a bunch of dots connected, like a row of close-knit dots, as well as it being stripes. Like this one, sort of stripe like that, and another stripe there. It's sort of like its neck. Then its body goes out that way. And in this picture, it's sort of like this. It has its paws together. Well, one slightly over the other one. And it looks like it's praying. Sometimes with cats, they got so much fur and skin, and they don't have a solid skeleton. That's why they could crawl through holes and stuff. That is much smaller than they are. They got a skeleton, but it's highly flexible. So sometimes, like in some pictures or poses, like it's almost like they're just a blob. If you ever seen like cat in a box, and it takes the shape of a box. They're definitely flexible critters. So yeah, this one's got I gave it like angry eyes, but it's more like they're pleading. It's like, oh please, master, give me my treats. Feed me today, for I will love on you tomorrow, dear sir or ma'am. So while the title is drawing 1001 cats, that was a joke. I'll just draw as many as I wish. It will be nowhere near 1001. But maybe one day I'll reach that 1001 cats drawn. That cat sounds very British. EGB, hey, or plotting something mischievous. Yes. Oh, okay. All cats are up to something. That's definitely, without a doubt. Even your most friendly of cats will always knock something off your table. Always get up into your food cabinets. Always eat your own food. There are nothing but trouble, let me tell you. So yeah, in many ways, my high hopes for this year will bleed into next, and I just want to finish off a lot of projects, finish off a lot of books, and start a bunch of my own projects, and really shift gears as far as, where previously I was doing a lot more work with other people for other people. So their projects, and I'll shift into doing more of my own work for myself. My own books, my own company, my own productions. I've had a taste of it, and it is a lot of work. It is like every step of the way in the process. You're the one they call on to ask questions, and it can become a lot, but there's also ways in which to sort of work with people and message each other, and it not not become a 24-hour thing. It's like I want to let the people I'm working with know that if you have a question, if you have anything you want to get in touch with me, please do so during these times, during weekdays. Like, I've had people reach out to me at any time. And, when you have 20 or 30 or 40 people asking you questions on a regular basis, and they're, reaching out to you at all hours, it can become way too much. So, eventually when I become big enough, I'll have a second in command, and they can filter all all the oncoming questions and whatnot. So yeah, it's another. It's my interpretation of what I'm looking at. This kooky looking cat. Yeah, it's sort of got that white around the eyes. I always like that. Like, if it's a Bengal cat or like a Tuxedo, one of those black and white cats, where they got the sort of little white ring around their eyes. It's adorable. I guess my cat Rocket, is a Bengal. Although he's got a lot of white patches on him. He is mostly just a striped cat. And then I have Ripley, who's a tortoiseshell. So she's kind of like mostly black, but she's got sprinkles of color. So orange and white and yellow and all sorts of things. Like you have to look really close, but you'll see all the colors. She got like this orange stripe on her head, and sort of initially I called her Quinn, as in Harley Quinn, or the Mighty Quinn, because on her face, like her left side of her face looks one way and the right side looks another way, and it's almost like a Harley Quinn sort of design to it. But I decided, I don't really like calling her Quinn. Ripley was better, and Ripley is from Alien. Alien is one of my favorite movies, so I figured that worked better. I didn't name Rocket, although, it's a perfect name for him. He was a stray cat that eventually became an indoor cat, and really, like, until he moved in here, he would never let me pet him. And it took a little while. But Rocket is putty in my hands now. It's hilarious. But yeah. So I'll make this just slightly darker underneath. So here's another cat for your cat viewing pleasure. Let's see if I can find something different. Funny face. Let's see. No. A sheep? No, I don't want to draw a sheep. This is about cats. Oh. Let's see. If I have to type in. Yeah, that works. Okay. I'll do a side view. So let's find a good one. All right. So this is a tuxedo, so it's mostly black. I've had a couple of black cats in my time. It's like between a tuxedo and a black cat, I would, both of which I do not have currently. I think if I was to choose a new kitten to be part of my clan, it would be one of those two. There's something about tuxedos. Tuxedo cats are insane in a good way. Playful, crazy. They usually love attacking whenever other cats are around. And black cats, not public opinion, but black cats are sweet. It's like if you have a black cat and it's around Halloween, you should not let it be outside, because lots of people do cruel things to black cats during Halloween season. But all the black cats I've had or have known, because I have had a couple of them, but I knew a couple more than I had in my place. But black cats are sweet. I would say they're loyal, sweet. And just fun. And every cat is quirky in its own way. But one of the sort of a reverse tuxedo. Is it a reverse tuxedo if the cat is mostly white with black patches as opposed to mostly black with white patches? I think so. I think technically that's accurate. Me and my ex, one of the cats we had together was a cat we called Monkey. Monkey is with her brother and his girlfriend and his mom right now, and Monkey's a character. Monkey's a quirky freaking character. Strange and would just like randomly go into crazy mode. But that's what I'm saying about tuxedos. Tuxedos, man, they're just strange. One thing's for sure, like when I draw animals, I start seeing like the way Disney artists drew animals, like maybe like maybe not seeing that yourself, but how they did their 2D animation and drew all these wonderful animals that they did, like especially like Tarzan had a lot of animals in it, or the Lion King for sure. So this one's got, okay, so it's sort of got its nose, and its nose is like that. But then it's colored, a lot of them have really particular coloring around their mouths or above their mouth. This one's got like, it looks like two kind of teardrops almost going up, it almost looks like a dog the way I'm drawing it, but it's not a dog, it's a cat. That's why I need to practice. So my cats look more like cats. But yeah, just the sheer like simplicity of lines, very, very limited lines that form shapes that make it look like the animals and whatnot. It's definitely, I've loved Disney animation, like all the movies they did, not necessarily the stuff they, like part 2, straight to video or whatever. Like that stuff was never as quality. But I grew up at a time when they did The Little Mermaid and all the movies that followed, however many, there were 4 or 5. Lion King was 1, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Beauty and the Beast, like those animated movies. I really love that those string of movies because that was like my generation. Like a lot of the real Disney classics. You know, even though I watched them all growing up, I think they were in theaters before my time. You know, it seemed like they were always on TV, but I don't think I saw them in the theater. So when Little Mermaid and Hunchback and Lion King, all that stuff came out. Tarzan, I really love the animation on that one a lot more. It was a little more stylized. It reminded me a little bit of where they were going with what was it, Atlantis? There's more to the title. I forget where they were mimicking Mike Mignola's artwork, where all the characters in Atlantis had chunky, squared off fingers. I love that. That was awesome. So in this picture, the cat's got white whiskers, but since I don't have a white pen, but all this is black. So like this little, I'll do a light tone. But yeah, I would love to revisit a lot of those animated movies, because like as an artist, like you draw year in and year out. You know, even as an anchor, I'm sort of drawing, and if you go back to stuff you watched when you were really young and go back to it now with a better understanding of art and everything, you can appreciate much more of the work that went into making those movies. There's a lot of quality animation being done nowadays, and like 2D stuff still exists and is being done, but a lot more is CGI, which I don't mind CGI. Like sometimes it's done fantastic. But there's something about 2D animation where it's the squash and pull of the characters that isn't done as much or effectively with CGI. So that's why I keep thinking back to, not only Disney, but there was a lot of other 2D animation that was fantastic. I went to art and design for high school, and that's in Manhattan, New York. And for my graduation, we had Ralph Bakshi as our speaker. So of course I love Ralph Bakshi stuff. And that was a whole different thing. Like Ralph didn't do just straight animation. He was it rotoscoping, what it was called. Rotoscoping, I think. But look at that beautiful cat. Freaking tuxedos are gorgeous. Some of them are very quirky looking. Oh, it's funny, so I mentioned my cat Monkey. There was like a neighborhood little girl that came around and went to go see my friend and her cats, and Monkey was there, and Taz was there, and some other cats. Anyway, when she saw Monkey, because Monkey is mostly white with black patches, she went monkey cow, and so Monkey was forever more known as Monkey Cow. When Monkey was little, and still to this day, but she did grow out of it a little bit, but she had a huge ass when she was younger. And she is very much pear-shaped. And before we got her, she was at the rescue, and they were calling her Monkey Butt. So, like many cats, they have their name, then they have their nicknames, then they have 1,000 other names. And so it's always fun to give them hundreds of names. But I like the way this one came out. It's almost panther looking. If I was doing this in pen and ink, I would do a lot of subtle cross-hatching. Subtle, I mean, like everything here is black, but you want to make sure you see it. So everything is a shade of gray. So you want to do a lot of sort of lightly touching cross-hatching. So it doesn't come out off as all black. You perceive it as black, but it's more gray, so you don't lose the details. Like the thing with having like black cats is like, unless you're in good lighting, you can't really see their face a lot of times, because everything is black. Everything about them is black. They're, basically all these, if they're all black, a lot of the thing you only see is like around their eyeballs. Man, I was watching. I forget his name right now, but it's an artist who I think he worked for Disney. Yeah, I was watching him not too long ago. I forget his name, so forgive me. But fantastic artist, and he's got all these courses, and you can sign up for things and get free brushes and all sorts of things. But he's making his own 2D animated movie, because there's not enough well done 2D animation, and he's doing it like sort of frame by frame, and just having these long streams, and doing a little bit more each time, and he was showing off the progress he's made so far, and it was just like, I must have watched like an hour and a half of his stream. I think initially I started watching him because I was eating lunch or something, and I just became mesmerized. It was. Do I remember the name of his movie? Probably not. but it was like a baby whale and a mama whale, and much like when you're doing traditional 2D animation, you draw the outline. Well, okay, so you draw it here. You draw the outline, and then you put another sheet of paper on. You do this on a light box, and you move it slightly. And he was essentially doing that, but digitally, like where it was layers. So, but the thing, when you're doing, he was drawing it traditionally in a sense, but with a digital art program. Where you can do multiple frames at a time. It's pretty fascinating. So this is definitely like it's still in a sense a traditional 2D way of doing it, because a lot of when it comes to CGI and a lot of what you see now is sort of a cheap knockoff. Or I think they got a program that really fills in the blanks. It's not the artist doing frame by frame. Yeah, if I was making this a finished piece, I would add a lot more detail, but man, EJB, everybody. Aaron Blaze, that's right. Do you remember the name of his movie? Because he's pretty fantastic. He's a pretty fantastic artist. It was like I said, I was watching him draw whales, and as soon as he started just playing a couple of the clips, I was like, man, this is truly fantastic. This is like how individual just shots of a whale can really come together and show emotion and all that. But yeah, he's a fantastic artist, and I think he was probably hanging out with his assistant. But yeah, if you're curious about what I'm talking about, go find him on YouTube. What did I want to do? I wanted to do this. Just go in a little closer to the drawing. See my details. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. Snow bear. I think the one he's working on is Snow Bear or something like that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Snow Bear. Yeah, I also saw shots of the bear and maybe some scenery he was working on. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I got to remember to just like keep going back to his channel and seeing his progress. There's nothing more fantastic than watching somebody create something. It's funny. A lot of what I see mostly is cats looking left, and I'm left-handed, so I kind of want to draw everything going right. Here's one. Do we get others? Let's see. It's a good one. Looking for good reference takes time. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd you go? There you go. Okay, so, oh, that's creepy. Yeah, let me get another sheet of paper. If you haven't been watching before, let me go back a little with my camera. And just draw some cats there. That's a strange looking one, but it was a cat that was praying. This one had a funny face. That one is not as good. That one looks mean, but it wasn't. It was just, this is why I need practice. But yeah, to find. So this one. Yeah, there's so many fantastic artists on the YouTube. Not only comic people, there's illustrators, there's painters, there's animators. All sorts of artists. In fact, I'm going to have somebody who's a chalk drawer next week. There's actually people who get hired to draw street art. I've never done it. I don't think I even attempted it. I know like kids when they're young, they have chalk and they draw on the street. Mostly they draw the grid where you jump, let's see, something like that. So this is a picture of a cat, but it's surrounded by black. So it's sort of fading into the black. So it mostly looks like it's like where this is all solid black. Let's do this really quick. And then yeah, everything surrounding the cat is solid black. So yeah, I mentioned earlier, like one of the things it's sort of recommended, like if you're a freelance artist, there's things that a lot of artists do to sort of make quick money. And one of the things that's always recommended is if you want to make some quick money, which I certainly do, that you should do portraits of people, like, likenesses. And while I'm not great at likenesses, it is something I have done, and I'm not horrible. But it's like, if you put yourself out there to do likenesses, then I think those people get more criticism than anybody else. It's like even the most non-artist out there can look at a picture and say that looks like her, that doesn't look like her. Like you you will get torn apart if you draw people and it doesn't look like them, either by their friends or by themselves. But I think I'm, maybe because I'm getting older, but I think I might consider doing some portraits of people. But definitely, like, me doing more of my own art is definitely an attempt for, me, if not initially, then eventually over time to make better money. Once more and more people know I do my own artwork, then more and more people will value that, and more demand of that. And he says, "Oh yeah, likenesses can be quite tricky." Yeah, I mean, obviously, you see it with celebrities. Like, you see plenty of artists drawing celebrities, and that's, a lot of cases it's more caricaturish, but that's essentially, like, any kind of likeness is a caricature to some extent. But it's like, I used to pick up Mad Magazine, and two fantastic artists in Mad Magazine were Mort Drucker and Jack Davis, and they were fantastic at likenesses. Even like the most average looking actor or actress, you think would be impossible for anybody to capture their likeness. They did quality work. So maybe one day I'll do a stream where I'll try, either succeed or fail. I'll try to do some people likenesses. That might be a fun stream. It might be horrible, but maybe that will make it more fun. Since the darkness around the cat is pitch black, let me go a little darker. Do, 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 do. I should really not be running my hand through all the the lead. Some artists have gloves. I frankly don't do enough pencil art. To where I need one all the time, but I should pick one up or order one if I can't find one in town. But yeah, that might be fun to do. Like, ask a bunch of people if they would like for me to do their likeness, and just do a whole stream where I'm attempting that. There was that famous artist back in the day where he was very popular in newspapers and for doing celebrity caricatures. But it was the most simplistic artwork he could possibly do. And it was just like single line drawings almost. And they were gorgeous. And I'm blanking on his name. But yeah, it's tricky, but it might just be fun to attempt and do horrible. Like, even doing horrible. I mean, sometimes just a drawing exercise is a drawing exercise, So I was considering doing a long stream tomorrow, but I think I got my timing wrong. So tomorrow is episode 275. So it's going to be a special one, I guess. But I was considering doing a longer episode. And I say my timing because I'm on the free plan, and I think it reverts back to the beginning tomorrow. But if I'm wrong and it reverts back to it on Friday, then I could do a long stream tomorrow and then still have all 20 hours on Friday. They give you 20 hours for free a month, and right now I can't afford it. I'm a starving artist. I can't afford to pay into that right at the moment. I got bills to pay and whatever. It is the end of the month almost. And that's usually when money is a concern. But like I mentioned, I have a Patreon page. If you want to support me and my cats, or even a tip jar. Like if you want to, throw me a tip. I used to work in the city. I had 9 to 5 jobs before I started working in comics, and I used to go into Manhattan. Then before I went into the building, whatever building I was working in at the time, there was always the corner convenience shop where I could pick up coffee and a donut, or more than likely pick up bagels or a muffin. And I would always be generous because I was making good money back then. And they didn't draw. It's not like they were drawing. But they did provide a service by giving me what I paid for. By giving me what I already paid for. It's true. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I'm trying not to. Much like my dad before me, he was a tremendously loud sneezer. And he took me and Jimmy when we were younger. He took us to some movie, and I wouldn't say it was an out and out horror movie, but it whatever it was, it had suspense at the moment, and he let out the loudest sneeze where the whole theater heard him, and everybody jumped in their chair. It was like, it's not the movie. That was my dad. So good old Pops. So this cat, you know, when the whiskers come out, it's almost like they have a grid of dots where the whiskers come out of. And some are more visible on some cats than others. In this picture, it looks like it's literally just a grid of dots. There's a couple of random whiskers sticking out. Let's see. So this has been fun today. I enjoyed attempting to draw some kitties. I'll be here for a couple more minutes or however long. But yeah, you know, it's funny. I was exhausted before I started this stream, and now, you know, having put in over an hour's worth. Oh shit! It's almost 2 hours. Really, time freaking flew. I guess I'll go for 2 hours. Okay, so another less than 20 minutes. Yeah, it's funny how I was on my feet, exhausted. I've already had a long day. I guess it's the anticipation of, okay, I have to do this thing. Not only do I make art, but I have to interact with the audience. I have to make sure I share it out. I have to, you know, do all this extra work on the side of that. It's funny. It's funny how the brain works. And now I'm fine. Like, you know, if I feel anything, I'm hungry because I haven't had dinner yet. And I didn't expect to go this long. But I'm glad I did. This was fun today. You know, like I do want to break it up every now and then, do something a little different. And anybody that knows me knows I love cats. So today was kind of a treat. You know, even if every drawing didn't come out highly successful, it's good enough. You put the practice in, you know, go through the motions and it'll get better next time. At least that's what I'm telling myself. EGB, it's going to be a marathon to finish 993 more cats in 20 minutes. Yeah. The title was tongue in cheek. I'm not doing 1,001. But if I was getting paid like 100 for each cat I drew, I would gladly draw all 100,000. I mean, all 1,001 cats. Wouldn't that be fantastic? No, I'm sure. Like, I'm not doing. There's this thing coming up next month that's popular among artists, especially comic book artists, called Inktober. While I'm not going to be directly participating in Inktober, meaning I'm not going to be following a prompt list. I'm not going to go overboard and try to create a comic with it or whatever. I will be doing a lot more inked art, therefore using the hashtags, taking advantage of the movement as it happens. I'm wondering what I should eat, as my brain has just stuck on the fact that I'm going to be eating soon. I'll probably make some pasta. Being Italian, I'll probably make some pasta. Why not? I would love to make some tacos, but frankly, I have yet to do that myself. Like, I've had friends who made, sort of all the fixings for a taco, and then you just go and put it all together. And I should really learn all the ingredients I need and set that up myself, because I do like tacos. I mentioned recently, like, we're getting another restaurant in town. Unfortunately, it's a Mexican restaurant. So I think that gives us a total of 6 Mexican restaurants in a town where we don't have one Italian restaurant. So that makes me sad. And the place where the newest Mexican restaurant is, there used to be a Chinese place, and right now we only have one Chinese takeout place, restaurant / takeout, and yeah, we used to have 2. So we have one less Chinese restaurant and one more Mexican restaurant, but still no Italian restaurants, and still no good place to get bagels. Dunkin' Donuts is the best place to get bagels in town. So that could tell you. That could tell you where we're at. So make this dark. You kind of grasp it better. I probably do, somewhere amongst my rubble of supplies, have one of those more things where I can lay down a lot of lead. I don't know. What am I thinking of? I don't know. Anyway, that's all black. back that way. I just finished watching the Netflix show Lock and Key. I really liked it. It's based off of a comic written by Stephen King's son. I think the artist was Gabriel Rodriguez, and there's a cat in my face. Speaking of cats, Ripley. Hello, Ripley. But yeah, Netflix, it's sometimes it's they do really good stuff. Sometimes it's like, it's mediocre. It's not worth watching. But I liked a lot of their shows and some of their movies. Always appreciate that they're churning out content where the hope is that it's good. Anyway, I thought Lock and Key was one of the better things that I've watched on the streaming service. I definitely enjoyed it. It's sort of like, I'm not an out and out horror fan. It's like I watch a lot of horror and enjoy a lot more horror than I did when I was younger. And Lock and Key, it's got like horror elements. It's not too heavy duty, but like as soon as something horror-ish happens, then it does spiral into something good happening later in the episode. Where it doesn't leave you necessarily in the horror mode. It's like it goes back to being okay. Things are working out and things are okay again, and it's like all good again, all good. Don't worry, folks. So I appreciated that about the show. It's like, so yeah, there we go. There's another kitty cat. Coming up on 2 hours. So I figure I'll close it out. So that was one attempt. Excuse me, Ripley. And I can do this. Go a little closer. See some of the detail. Feathering, cross hatching, subtleties. Like the way that one came out. I definitely like the way this one came out. I appreciate everybody who came by and watched and dropped a comment. And even if you're, stalking me, watching without commenting, that's okay too. And these are some of the earlier versions where I was just warming up, and that's my excuse why they aren't nearly as good. I think I like him the best. He kind of looks like Tony the Tiger a little bit. That's all, folks. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. Become a patron if you're not already a patron. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Possibly a longer episode. If not, just another regular episode. But I'll probably be inking something. Oh, before I go, do you want to say hello? You want to say hello? There. Here's a headshot. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll see you again soon. And keep making